Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Spintwist podcast. I'm your host, Jay from Spintwist Videos. Today, we're going to be talking about some stuff, and we're going to be talking about some things. Today, I am joined with Miko, Daniel, Spencer, and our guest, Ryan.
Howdy. Hello, babies.
How you guys doing tonight?
Well, I just got home from a sick road trip.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, and then it had to stall our thing. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, peeps.
As you guys may or may not have noticed, this episode came out a day late, and that's because we suck. So, yeah.
Big ones.
They can't do an
Huge
episode
ones.
without me, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spencer's the binding glue to this
Well,
cast.
Yeah.
He's like the duct tape to my car.
Oh my gosh. Alright.
You guys ready to get into our first topic?
You know I'm ready, boys.
All right, so Spencer's researched the first one, and we all have or some of us have a bit of a clue of what it is. I believe it's called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. Is that how you pronounce it?
Your guess is as good as mine there, buddy.
Okay.
So, is it like when I buy a new car, right? And then I just notice that everyone else also owns this car? Like, is that...
Yeah, so, well, kind of that kind of, well, yeah, I guess. It's basically when you learn something new and then you see it all over the place, basically.
So, like, a new word, and then you hear it over
Yeah.
and over and over again?
I think most of us have experienced this. Any of you guys have anything specific that's happening? Because I'm pretty sure that we all have like
I
realized
do.
this.
Back in when I was a kid, even up to now, whenever I see a beetle, I always go slug bug, and so like now subconsciously my mind always constantly sees slug bugs.
Yeah,
Does that count?
I don't
It
know.
I don't think it does.
kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, it's just kind of like one thing I'm talking about is like I learned like when I first learned about Jack in the Box and how we didn't have it in
Utah?
Utah. And I just barely rethought of this because I was in California for a bit and I ate Jack in the Box and it's super good. But I remember learning about Jack in the Box and how we didn't have it and it was like a really big thing in other places. And then like in like so many times I heard about Jack in the Box just over and over. So it was just really it was weird. So
With me, this is mostly with cars. Like when I first bought my car, which is an old ass Toyota Corolla,
Hey.
I started seeing that same car model like everywhere for some reason. And same thing with my van when we bought my van. You got anything like this, Ryan?
Yeah. So, there's one time this band I discovered, Oh Wonder. I thought it was crazy. I thought they were a good band. And then as soon as I discovered them, I started hearing them everywhere. On every TV show, every radio, everywhere. They were everywhere. Only after I discovered them, though. I never noticed them before I knew them.
My favorite is that you think you're unique, and you're like, yeah, I come up with listening to my own kind of music, and then it's everywhere. That's how
Yeah.
I feel like when that happens.
Yeah, same. Like, you don't ever hear this music, and then once you do, you start hearing it all over the place, even though it's probably already there before.
Everybody's like,
Yeah.
that song's been out for 5 years. And you're like, well, damn, Jackie.
Jackie! That's not even a typical name, but it has so much personality to
You
it.
ever watch that 70s show?
No.
Exactly.
try and get that Romero a little closer to the microphone. If you guys can.
Yeah. So explain it to us, Spencer. What's going on?
Okay.
What
So
happened?
it's actually like you'd think it's like something super like absolutely crazy but there's like two main things that happens. One reason, like the most simple reason, is you learn something and you see it again, so you're like instantly like, whoa, I just learned about that, I'm seeing it again. So it's like you kind of recognize it in your mind as kind of like a pattern because our brains are specifically designed to see patterns. So when that happens, you like instantly you're like, whoa, that's such a coincidence, and that happened, and then it happens again. But so many times we learn new things and we don't see it, so we don't put that together. But when we do see it, we put it together because it's kind of like a pattern. So we're like, whoa, that's crazy. So it's just kind of like that's just basically one thing. And another reason why it happens is like we don't recognize things when we don't know what they are as much. And so like when we do know what something is and we've learned about it recently, we'll see it and we'll connect it back to what we've learned. And so it's just kind of like your brain putting connections through patterns that you've
Okay.
seen recently. And that's also why they call it the frequency illusion. Or, yeah, so it's just like you start seeing it more often. So it just kind of becomes like a thing. You're like, whoa, that's pretty crazy.
So
I
it's
don't
kind
know.
of like when I was a kid and you would learn something in school, like 4 plus 4, and then you started just applying it to all 4 plus 4, and you'd be like 4 Wendy's equals plus 4 Wendy's equals 8 Wendy's, kind of thing.
Kind of. Well, it's like, say you, well, again, like you learn what Jack in the Box is, and then you see it all the time. And then
Okay.
say that you learn what Popeyes is, and then you never see it. Like, when if you just learn what it is, like you don't put any connection with anything whatsoever. But when you see it again, then you go back to that connection, as long as it's been for like just pretty recently. So it's just kind of like your brain kind of putting it together as a pattern in a sort of way.
Yo, AFK, I got a similar phenomenon, kind of like this, but it goes a little bit the opposite direction. So we all know deja vu, right? Where you think you've seen something before,
Yeah.
and you like don't know why. So apparently, I've found out that that is your brain's way of like telling you that your memory is still properly working. If you think
yeah,
you've seen something before, it's because your brain's working hard to tell you that, like, hey, your memory's working fine, like everything is cool upstairs. And as you're younger, you experience more and more deja vu because your brain is actively working and remembering things. And then as you get older and your brain starts to slow down a little bit, that's when you start having less and less deja vu. So I don't know, kind of similar thing.
Yeah.
Same lines around that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Dang, these logical answers, they make more sense, and it's kind of disappointing. I wanted it to be like this
Yeah.
cool, like, I'm traveling dimensions.
Well, my
But-
deja vu is different than normal people's deja vu.
What is it then?
Like, I'll have deja vu, but like I'll see like a scene happen that won't happen in real life. Like, say my deja vu, like you come into the door, right? Well, right after you come into the door, you would yell at me in my deja vu, like in my thought. But you wouldn't. You would just come in like laughing or smiling or doing something completely opposite.
That's not really deja vu then. That's just a
Yeah.
weird
No, no.
illusion.
No. It's deja vu. It's
You
exactly what
schizophrenic
deja
dog?
vu
Just
is.
kidding. No, just
Like, yeah, it's weird. Like I'll like
Yeah.
it'll be the same thing playing out, like you walking into the room, Spencer, but like something else will happen afterwards, but it just doesn't happen that way. You'll do the exact opposite.
So, like, the pattern lines up, but like in a deja vu,
Yeah.
but then all of a sudden it just cuts out.
Yeah. That's why I get confused.
But yeah, I just
Uh,
think it's kind of interesting, and it just goes down to like our brains just working in patterns. And I don't really think of it often, but that's just what we think of. We just always think in patterns, no matter what it is.
Huh.
And it's just weird to like
Like
think.
meat machines.
And it goes down to phi again that we were talking about last time. It's just like everything's patterns, and you see it through, that the ratio, and just it's just weird. It's weird to
Connect.
think about. Yeah.
One that I just remembered, this Bader Meinhof phenomenon thing, is when I
I call it
first
frequency illusion if you.
or that. When I first learned the word couth because of this guy Ryan over here.
Have some couth, you filthy animals.
Couth is this word that not really anyone uses because it basically just means like respect for the most part. Like I had never heard of it before that, but then once Ryan was saying it all the time, I started noticing it in for instance, I was playing this old video game and somebody said couth in it. I was like, whoa. And
Yeah, that happened to me too. When I learned it, I think I heard it in what is that book called? To Kill a Mockingbird. I think it was To Kill a Mockingbird.
it might
I
be.
could be wrong, but I heard it in something like that, and I was like, "Whoa, that's weird." And
Yeah.
it's just like, it's weird.
All right, we've talked about this for a while. You ready to move on?
Heck yeah, dude.
All
Yeah, I
right.
think we're good.
So
I
you
miss your
you
friends.
you guys want to talk about sleeps?
Oh yeah. So Jared doesn't believe me, but my friend Cody and I stayed up for 5 days in a row,
It's hard to
and
believe.
it's hard to believe.
I
But
believe
we
it.
looked
Cody
up
does
if
stuff
you
like
could
that.
die from it, and you can't technically die from it. It's like different side effects. So let's say like you try and drive, I guess, or like the illusions that you get from not sleeping gets intense. And so, for example, like on my like fifth, fourth day ish, I would start playing League, and I'm playing somebody. I think Yasuo, and I think somebody else is attacking me, and I would just start freaking out, and I was like, no, no, no. I'm like flashing, and I'm like running away, and there's nobody there.
Yeah.
It was an illusion. So like
Well,
it kind of scared me, so I went to bed and I ended it. But Cody stayed up a whole nother day just to prove me wrong. Anyway, so this story brings up a question like, why do we need sleep if you can technically survive without it?
well,
Ryan's
here's
over
one
here
thing.
shaking his head.
You can't live without sleep. You will die if you do not get
No.
enough sleep. It is scientifically proven.
No,
So
we looked it up, though.
where'd you look it up at?
Wikipedia.
That's a real damn good place to
Things
find
that could,
helpful
things where people
information.
can edit it.
Matter of fact, you will die if you don't get enough sleep because your body needs sleep to do its normal functions, like breathing. Your brain needs to sleep so it can function properly to keep you breathing. If your brain doesn't get enough sleep, you will not live because your brain will stop breathing for yourself. Because nobody thinks, I need to breathe in, then I need to breathe out, then I need to breathe in. Nobody thinks that your body just does it by itself because your brain's a freaking genius. But if you don't get enough sleep and you abuse your body for a certain amount of time, then forget about it. You're done for.
So I don't know. Is it kind of weird then that we spend like half our life in bed, asleep, doing nothing? Is that weird?
It's actually more like I read. It's like a third of our life. I
The
think.
third.
Something like that.
Well, that's still a big chunk in our
Yeah.
time of our day, or even in our life. Is it? Would you
Yeah.
consider it's weird?
I think it's like just sleep as an idea is just really weird, and like it doesn't really make sense that we need to just lay down and become unconscious. Like
Yeah.
we just stop being able to function. It's so weird. We just like, and what does it do? Like the fact that we're not doing anything with our mind is just recharging us.
Yeah.
It's just so weird to think like, why do we need sleep?
Yeah.
Well, actually, everybody likes to think of our bodies like a battery, like a phone, for instance. Like, you go throughout the day and you drain your battery, and then at the end of the night you get tired and you go to sleep to recharge your battery. But it's actually been proven that it's not really how your body works. Your subconscious kind of works on a clock. So, how your mind works is it kind of sets this internal clock when it tells you that it's time to sleep. So that's why some nights you feel like it's 8 o'clock and you don't know why you're dead tired and you're just like, okay, well, I'm just going to go to bed. And then other nights where it's like 3 in the morning and you're not sleepy at all. It just depends on how your internal clock sets. And that's why sometimes, like, have you guys ever woken up right at exactly like the minute before, right on time that your alarm goes off? That's
Yeah.
like your body's internal clock, like just being so set in a time. So yeah, it's not necessarily that the more energy you drain, the more energy you need to take back in. It's more so just how your body's internal clock is ticking at that point in time.
And that's also one thing I figured like I've like been thinking about recently is like on weekends I can sleep in all I want, but like on weekdays I'll wake up like before my alarm. And like sometimes I'll even go to bed like around the same time. Like on weekdays I'll go to bed at 12. I'll wake up before my alarm. And then on weekends I'll go to bed at 12 and I'll wake up at like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock.
Funny story for me. For some reason, I would wake up at 4:20 without my alarm for like a solid like week or like 4 days, but then 1 day or 2 days wouldn't. But then it would catch back on, and it just must have been my internal clock that just like it was like 4:20 or like 4:18 be like right around that same time, and I don't know why. Like I would just wake up at that time for some reason.
I have a weird similar situation to that where during the summer of 2014 when I was working at this weird air conditioning shop, I for some reason would every single day I would check the phone at like just to see what time it is at exactly 4:20. I like almost never missed it. It was so weird. Like exactly 4:20.
I actually have something really weird. Like I don't know what if you guys could explain this, but for like 2 or 3 weeks when I was living out, I don't know how to explain it, but when I was in 8th grade, I would get woken up, and every time I woke up, it was to the Katy Perry song, the "I'm Wide Awake," you know that song. Every single time I woke up. So I don't know if like it would come on like around that time, and my brain would hear it, and it would just instantly like, wake me up because the first time I heard it, I was kind of like, "Whoa, that's freaking coincidental." But then like, if it's on a radio, how would it come on at the same time every day? Like I just don't understand.
Radios actually usually do have schedules, so they'll play the exact same song at the exact same time.
Really?
Sometimes some stations do that, and maybe your brain is just like it got used to waking up at that song, so whenever it heard it, it just woke up.
So I have a maybe more logical explanation to it. So have you guys ever woken up in the morning to an alarm, and then you hit snooze? And then in that snoozing period, when you go back to sleep, have you ever had a dream where you get up and you start like getting ready for the morning, like in the shower and putting your clothes on and everything, and then your alarm goes off again and you wake up in your bed and like wonder what the hell just went on because you could have swore you just got up and got ready and everything? Like you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No, I've never had that before.
Yeah.
I kind of do, but it usually end up like it's not very realistic the way it happens. Like, it's like really weird.
Okay, well anyways, whether you've had it or not, that's actually a form of lucid dreaming, because you wake up and you realize that it's morning, okay, I need to get up, but I'm just going to get these last few minutes of sleep in. So subconsciously, your body's thinking about the routine that your body needs to, or what you need to do to get ready for the morning. So as you're thinking about that subconsciously and you fall back to sleep, you're kind of having a lucid dream, kind of controlling your dream just based off what you realize what you need to do when you're already asleep. So AFK, I think if you maybe heard that song come on one time one morning and it woke you up, I think maybe you were having a lucid dream and not really realizing it, like as if like you
No,
weren't.
because here's the thing. My dad woke me up at the set time every single day, or
Yeah.
not every day, but like he was like, I'd wake up to that song, and then he'd come into the room, and he'd hear it too. Like it's so weird.
Well, I just think that's
I don't
probably
know.
just a
So
weird radio coincidence.
Yeah, that's true.
Going back to like the whole why we need sleep is I do weightlifting, and one of the core things in weightlifting is you have to get sleep in order for your muscle cells to rebuild and make your muscles stronger. That's another pro for sleeping is your body will rebuild itself if you do heavy exercise and heavy like weightlifting, because it can't regrow the muscle if you don't sleep.
Well, like would
I
you?
mean,
One thing I
can,
want to
but
ask.
Not
Sorry, go ahead,
effectively.
Spencer.
Sorry, I was just gonna say it can, just not effectively.
Well, one thing I was thinking about was like, what's the difference between like physical, not mental, between sleeping and like resting? So like for example, like when we stayed up those 5 days, I literally sat here in this chair on my computer, and I almost didn't really move at all. Like I would get up and go to the bathroom and eat, but I would stay down here. I stay down and rest, kind of, quote unquote rest, but I wasn't sleeping. So would that still count as like a sort of resting thing for your muscles at all, or no?
I don't know. That's like why it's weird. Like we could just lay in bed for 8 hours straight and be completely conscious, and it just would not be the same as being asleep.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
the
you're still
thing is,
resting, but you're not. It's not the same kind of rest.
I feel like the reason why is because like when we're awake, we're still fully conscious. Our brain is still fully working. Like it has all of its functions like that are there. But when we're resting, like I feel like our consciousness just goes away. So it's like a lot of its like brain functions go like away, and we're completely rested. Like when you're sitting there doing nothing, you're still holding yourself up. Like if you're sitting in a chair, like if you think about it, like you're actually still holding like your
well, you
arms
can
up.
fall asleep in a
everything.
chair too.
Well, yeah. Then you go limp and you're
that's
not
true.
holding yourself up.
Well, that, and I feel like your body's like another thing that I could put together would be that your body's like ready still for like something. Like compared to when you're asleep, you're like your body just is not ready, kind of. Does that make any sense at all? Like if someone attacked you while you were awake, compared to when you would be asleep. So like your muscles are just always tense and ready to jump.
Yeah.
But not always, like not like to the max, but at a certain extent compared to sleeping.
Well, also when you're asleep, since you're not conscious, you just don't expect, like your brain doesn't expect that, so it happens suddenly. So it's just like doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My name Jeff. Are we ready to move on, or we still got more stuff on sleep?
I think we're good.
I don't know.
Are we good?
Yeah, I don't really have too much to say, so I think we're good.
One more weird thing about sleep, actually. For some reason, when I can't. It's a lot harder for me to wake up to alarms than it is to the sound of other people. Like, for instance, I had a fire alarm going off at my house one time, and I didn't wake up until my door opened. Like, I didn't even... Like, I just slept through the actual alarm, but then when somebody opened the door, I woke up instantly.
One thing I can say to that is, like, when I feel like we all are triggered to wake up by different things. And I feel like with your family, your mom, like, wakes you up all the time, like, because she's, like, super big about waking up on time and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, like, a human interaction is the way that you wake up. But for me, no one ever wakes me up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they used to, like, when I went to school in, like, junior high. But I have to wake up now on my own through alarms. So that's how I'm set. And I can't, like, I have trouble waking up when people wake me up. You guys.
Yeah, that's how I am too. When my dad tries to come and wake me up, it just fails. But when I wake up on my own with my alarm,
Yeah.
that's when I wake up.
So I just feel like we're all triggered
triggers.
by different things.
Triggered.
To like wake up.
So, I have another idea why it might be easier for Jared to wake up to the presence of another human is because, like, we all evolved from cavemen and wild people from back in the day, and back in those times, like, if you were sleeping and you heard a big-ass tiger sneaking up on you, like, you better wake up or you're getting killed, right? And so, I think it's just, like, hardwired into our human DNA to be, like, more responsive to a living presence other than just an alarm clock going off. Like,
Me
like
and
they
Mika,
said,
though, are like,
yeah.
we're not like that. So that's the only reason I find that.
So in other words, I'm just an unevolved caveman.
Yeah.
Well, or even like it's just our mind was setting where it was trying to set triggers like that. So, but those triggers were adaptive. So you can keep that theory with the caveman and stuff. And we just made triggers with other people, like a crazy guy coming into your cave or a tiger or an animal coming into your cave. And those were your triggers.
Mm-hmm.
But now our triggers are my alarm clock, so I don't miss work.
Every day when I wake up, I throw a spear at whatever is nearest to me, just in case it's a tiger.
Well, we still got monkeys.
Well, we still got monkeys, Jared, huh?
Shut up. Just like they say, like, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you don't know why, it could be because somebody's standing over you watching you.
Yeah, probably.
It's the same thing.
It's my midget Steve.
How terrifying would that
Calm down,
actually be, though? Like, if you just woke up and someone's, like, standing over you.
I'd be like,
It's my
dude,
midget
hop
Steve,
on
dude.
in,
It's
bro.
just midget Steve,
Fuck
man.
it.
It's
Oh.
just that sensory awareness.
So, have you guys ever, like, I know most people, they usually go through, like, a phase of trying to, like, get really big on lucid dreams. It definitely happened to me, and I think it's probably happened to you guys. No?
No, I've not even.
Oh, really?
I've-
Okay.
I mean, I know what lucid dreams are.
I've
because of-
never had a lucid dream before. Like I've
I
never
had
been
lucid
able to
dream.
control a dream.
I've had sleep paralysis.
Sleep.
I've had
So
sleep
what I
paralysis.
was trying to get into
I've
is
had sleep
basically, have you ever had sleep paralysis? Because I haven't.
Yeah.
It's freaking scary.
Yeah, I like it.
One time. So do you guys know who the Owl Man is?
No.
Yeah.
There was like some YouTube videos of this guy that he basically like wears a suit and then there's like this creepy owl mask and he scares people. And one time I was in my room laying down and my closet is like straight ahead and I couldn't move. Oh, by the way, if you don't know what sleep paralysis is, it's basically where you like sit there and can't move and it's like a dream is happening right in front of your eyes and it's usually scary. I think that there are instances where it's not scary, but it's usually like really scary and you can't do anything about it. And so one time I was laying there and like I saw like a hand reach around my doorway and open it and it started like moving towards me. And in the videos it has like this creepy like whisper voices and so it was doing that too and I was like just sitting there. I could not do anything. I was like freaking out in my mind, but I just could not do anything.
You know why it does that though?
Why?
It's because your body's asleep, but your mind is dreaming, but you're awake at the same time. You understand? That's why you can't move your bodies because your body's asleep, but yet you're able to perceive things. So you're dreaming while you're awake, but your body can't comprehend it. So that's why you get that feeling of dread because you can't do anything about it. The best way to get out of sleep paralysis is to wiggle your toes or wiggle your fingers. Or try to.
Yeah, I tried to wiggle my toes too, and it wasn't working. It's freaking sucky.
I
It was
think
so
that,
scary, dude. Easily the scariest moment of my life. Alright, sorry.
I think that the only instant of lucid dreaming that I've had was whenever I was like, I had an intense dream where I was sitting and I'm stressed out and somebody's chasing me. I always slept on ice.
Really?
How was that lucid dream?
Well, because I would force myself to slip on ice. Like, it would just be like a sunny day, and then I would just slip on ice. And I would wake up because I'm falling. Or, like, I remember, like, if things, like, it would be a sunny day, but it's snowing at the same time, and my mind would be like, wait, it can't snow while it's sunny. So it would just stop snowing.
I think the funniest thing is, like, when you're just laying there, and all of a sudden you, like, jolt, because you, like, feel like you're gonna fall.
Oh, that is
just,
like
randomly jolt.
that is
So-
terrifying, especially when
Yeah,
it
and then
happens. Go ahead.
And then like 5 seconds after, you just start laughing about it because you just imagine it's like the stupidest thing ever. Like you're just laying there and I was like, whoa, frick. Oh, dude.
So Leif, like he would always fall asleep in class, and I like he would just be like sitting there, and all of a sudden like the entire table just like shakes, and like Leif gets up and he's like, huh? like that shake thing just happens to him.
Do you guys know why that happens though?
Why does it happen?
So, like when you start to fall asleep, like the example in class, because I think that's always happened to everybody. Like when you're sitting in class and you're starting to fall asleep, your body gets so relaxed, like because either you're so tired or you're so bored that your body just goes so relaxed that it slows down your heart rate to like really, really low rates. And so that kind of freaks out your body. Your body starts to panic and like, oh no, our body's dying. We need to give a shot of adrenaline. So your adrenal glands release a bunch of epinephrine that just hits your body just like, pah! And then that makes you do that crazy little jump because your body thinks you're dying, so it's giving its last go at it to keep you alive. But you weren't actually dying. You were just falling asleep, and so your body is just another way to keep you alive.
That's kind of scary. Your body just thinks you're
Like a
dying.
spook.
Oh, he's dying, boys. Give him a shot.
Like imagine if it like I don't know, like what if that was like a really dangerous thing? I don't know.
Well, I know that like when I try to stay awake, I would hold my breath on purpose so that my heart rate would go up and I could feel again and it would wake me up again. And I feel it's like just I think it's just a smaller form of that. Like it's just like, hey, this guy, you're not breathing. Are you dead?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right. I was trying to transition away from sleep like a million years ago, but
Yeah.
there's just so much good stuff with sleep. I don't know too much about this next topic. Next topic is war. Germany winning World War II. Where were you going with that?
I think this was Daniel's topic he came
Yeah, I
up
think
with.
it
So
was.
what would have happened in your mind if Germany won World War II?
Well, if Germany won World War II, Europe would have been taken over, and Germany would have set its eyes across the ocean to America. The thing is, it would be kind of similar to the Cold War because America wouldn't go in because they knew it would be a death zone. Germany wouldn't go in because they know that they would have to go overseas, and America would still have its navy because Japan wouldn't have attacked us. So, what do you guys think? What would happen if Germany won?
I feel like it would have to go under circumstances similar to yours. Like Japan would have had to not attack us in order for Germany just to sit and poke down Russia and the UK, and without us coming in to open up that second front. And then, which would mean that Japan would just keep taking Asia, and then Germany would just keep taking Russia, and then maybe the UK afterwards, or Great Britain.
Well, I feel like we'd go in at some point. Like, we have allies in Europe. It's not like we're just like
But-
sitting here watching all of our friends die. Like,
Yeah,
not
we
our
were.
problem.
Yeah, we totally
But
were. We
for a
were.
while,
wouldn't wanna
yeah.
waste our people.
Well, I mean, of
wouldn't wanna
course
waste
we
our
were.
people.
But I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
we
you
were.
gotta see
You
Totally.
just think if
Yeah.
you think if Japan did not attack us, we would have just stayed out of it
Yeah,
completely.
for real.
To be
I
honest,
really do.
yeah.
I think that's
I
gonna
don't
be
think
like
we
the
will.
number one oopsie in history. Is like, why? Like, why would you do that? But-
Okay, Ryan's just here shaking his head, but he's not saying
No?
anything, so he's got to put something.
All right, what's up, Ryan?
I have no comment on this topic.
No comment.
No comment. I'm gonna stay out of this one.
Why?
I don't know. Not my place to talk about.
All right.
I don't know. I feel like we would have done at least something. I don't know. Maybe
Well,
not
even at
like
the time-
as drastic as we did.
Well,
But I
even-
feel like we wouldn't have wanted Germany to win, so we would have gone in for something.
Well, it would have went to atomic. It would have been to atomic levels. America would have their atomic weapons. Germany would have their atomic weapons by that time, and it would be whoever launched their naval fleet to each other. That's when I'm pretty sure someone would launch a nuclear warhead.
Yeah.
Because you got to see it as like your family. It's like, would you rather, if you see your friend's family getting bullied, would you rather make sure that your family's protected, or do you want to risk your family getting attacked while protecting your friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, has a Reich.
Well, yeah, and we just didn't do anything. We just really didn't want to go in that war, and we were in super depression mode. Like we weren't making any money, and it wasn't at the time. They were like, if we go into this war, it'll just get worse. So they just figured we're gonna sit back, we're just gonna focus on our own, and we're gonna try and not go in here real quick and do this war. And so we really did just stand by and watch Germany do all of this for so long. And we just didn't go in until you had to convince Congress and the public to go in, which was when we were attacked. And when we were attacked, that was like one of the very first times U.S. has ever really been attacked, except for like the war in 1812. And even then, that was just like, that was 100 years ago, and they were like capturing people
I wonder if there's
and
like
destroying trade routes.
I wonder
Okay.
if like anybody thinks that like, because this could be like a viable conspiracy. Like we kind of like attacked our own place so that we could get into the war. Like
Yeah,
I
that
feel
is a
like that
conspiracy.
could be like a conspiracy.
Like Bush did 9/11 kind of thing.
Yeah, because like no one was really. I understand where you guys are coming from, like with what Daniel said. Like, why risk your own family to save your others? So like, you kind of need something to push your citizens over the war or over the edge. They're like, yeah, we need to go and fight these guys. So, I mean, I feel like it could be possible. I don't think that's the truth, but I mean, I feel like it's definitely a thing that could have happened. But I don't think it.
Well, like,
I don't think it did. I just think it's kind of.
kind of like look at 9/11, how like after 9/11 happened, a lot of people that were teenagers at the time and teenagers now are enlisting in the military to get back at the people that caused 9/11.
Yeah.
It caused a growth in military, personnel. And I think an attack on Pearl Harbor, if I was a teenager at the time, that would just make me want to join the military even more to get back at the enemy.
Yeah.
Because they took a shot at our home, you understand?
Yeah.
So, like, it's not necessarily that happened, but it is a good way to, like, get everyone riled up with your military. So, I mean, it is possible that is what they could have gone for.
But you got to remember, back then it wasn't I want to join or I don't want to join. They had a draft back then.
Still, like
But, I mean, it's also still, like,
inspiration and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, yeah.
Like people
And
who
you
were
still have to
drafted
convince-
just they didn't have like a lot of motive. Well, I mean, at least some of
well, I
them.
mean, getting shot and killed is pretty motive.
Well,
to be
that's why.
honest.
No, I mean like
Why it
just, like
took Congress for
So,
it.
yeah.
Because
Yeah, I
Congress,
know what you
to
mean.
make sure that they kept their seat in Congress, they had to make sure that the people actually wanted to go to war. Because if you're in Congress, right, and you make all these people go to war, you force these people to go to war, and then they don't want to be in it, you're not going to be in Congress anymore. Like,
Yeah.
you just don't get voted in. So to make sure you keep your job, you do what the people want.
That's true, yeah.
World War II had a lot of propaganda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, the whole like how like the draft thing. I don't know a lot of war facts, but from what I understand, like the draft in the Cold War with Vietnam and whatnot, like was not very good because a lot of people like just did not have any motivation to be over there. They didn't.
Yeah.
There wasn't like the propaganda or the. They didn't want to be
Yeah.
over there. It wasn't a fight. They wanted to fight.
People would like. I heard about people like shooting themselves in the feet, like so that they could like get out of it. Eventually, like they figured that out, like that people were doing that, and if the bullet would like through them,
Family
like
Guy
shoot them in the
episode.
face.
My dad
Really?
was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
My dad was drafted into Vietnam.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know that.
And I asked him questions about it, and he says it's not a time of his life that he wants to talk about.
Yeah, I imagine, dude. Vietnam was crazy, man.
Well, I remember like talking about it in the U.S. history, and that the year before, my teacher had gone to Vietnam to like check it out and stuff.
Mhm.
And when he was looking at it, like they just went trying to go through those guerrilla warfare, and you had to like go into these villages. And at the beginning, everyone's trying to be peaceful. Like you walk in, you say, "Yeah, we're the good guys, right?
Mhm.
Trying to keep you safe, and tell us where the enemy's at, and we will protect you." And they would do that, but then they would get shot up by one of the guerrilla warfare. That's basically how it was. They would be hiding in the village, and then they would shoot them up. So over and over again, to the point that like you had to choose, like, should I risk all my friends and like having to like go through this
Negotiate and then-
torture?
Yeah.
Yeah, or should I just burn down the village? And oftentimes we started just napalming everything, and like it was like this hard thing that a lot of the soldiers had to go through, or even all the traps that were left around, and like when they would step in those traps, and they would have these poisonous spikes up their foot.
Yeah.
It was just
Dude,
not a fun
that's-
war to go to. And that's
There's
why
still
we
bombs
started
left
just
over.
yeah, and that's why we just started burning the forest down, because it was like, I don't want to go through that. I
Yeah.
don't want to. Like,
It's pretty crazy, like what we had to like do to make sure that our soldiers were just safe.
Mhm.
And it's just like, I don't know. It just gets to the point like, why are we even there at that point? Like if we're just
It's crazy that
destroying
they
everything.
haven't. Isn't it crazy how they haven't removed all the bombs that the U.S. dropped over there?
wait, what?
There's still mines there. There's millions of mines and bombs that they haven't found that are still there. And nowadays, people sometimes they step on them and they die, and they haven't removed all of them.
Oops.
That's how much
Well, I
bombs
mean-
we dropped in
Where?
It's kind of impossible to figure out where we put them.
Vietnam.
And I mean, like, also the thing is, like,
Oh,
I
think
feel
I've
like
heard of
to
that,
an
actually.
I feel like to an extent, our military, like, our leaders are like not our problem. You know, I feel like to an extent, not like completely, but like to an extent, they're like not our, like, we don't want to go and spend all this money to go and remove all these bombs. You know, like I mean, it's kind of messed up, but I feel like that's the truth to some extent.
I wonder too
No.
if it was similar to the Afghanistan, like when Obama was trying to, or Iraq, wherever Obama was trying to pull everyone out,
Mhm.
and when that one guy was in office.
That one guy.
Trying to think, who was the guy that pulled everyone out of the war? Well, there was the president, and he was elected in because he said he would take everyone out of the war. And when he did, he just started doing it as fast as he could, just like how Obama was trying to do it really, really fast in Iraq.
Mhm.
And I wonder if that's just a side effect of it. It's that we didn't do 100%.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't like
Um,
spend the extra time there to try and save proof.
I also read that a lot of those mines were actually French as well.
I
Because
I think I remember that.
Because I think that, because the French, they actually had Vietnam in the first place as a colony, and then the Vietnamese kicked them out, and then then the Civil War happened because they were deciding on becoming communist or not, and that's when it started to separate. But because the French were kicked out in the first place, they still had that war, but they just decided to leave because they literally were kicked out, so they just left everything there because they had to.
yeah, I don't know.
I assumed
It's
that
just-
would. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, probably. Well, it's just like I was just gonna agree with you there. It's just kind of unfortunate, and it's just like you can't really control what you can't control what you do in war to an extent, and like if you have like a war there, and then like a lot of people just don't like realize that like the French were there too. So it's kind of
I feel like a lot of people actually really just didn't understand the situation there, because like everyone believed like this domino effect theory, right? Like Vietnam's becoming communist so they could be like China, right? But in reality, Vietnam hated China's guts like forever,
Well,
and
yeah.
they still hated China's guts. They did not want to be like China. They just wanted to be communist so that they could get rid of the French, who were literally in their doors, like in their homes. Same with the U.S. And so they had to go with this communist figure in order to get him out. And they really did just hate the Chinese, and that's why we were there, because we didn't like the Chinese having all this spread of communism across of Asia.
okay. Well, I think we can probably move on then. I don't
Yeah.
really have much else to talk about.
You guys want to hit one more topic, or what are we thinking here?
probably. I
All
think
right.
we're running a little long time. I mean, we did have a break, like a
Yeah.
little stop, but that was only like 3 minutes. So
Okay, so our next two topics are both really history based. So I'm thinking we just move straight to snow and then call it,
yeah, okay.
because we just spent like a ton of time on history.
Yeah.
Sorry
Alright.
about that.
So, snow is frozen water that falls from the sky and plagues the earth. What do you guys think about snow?
It's cold.
It's beautiful. That I'll be the
Okay.
first. I'll just say that like if you look at it from a distance. Oh man, yeah, I love snow. Like looking at pictures and stuff of just like snowing things. It's like absolutely amazing. But when you wake up and have to scrape off your car every morning and drive through it and slide, no thanks, man. It's not worth it.
I love snow. Like the one time when I was driving home from work and my car almost hit another car,
yeah,
and I
Oh,
drove
yeah.
off the road over into this place called
I remember
Reams.
that.
And I was there and I was debating on sleeping there. I was too scared to drive.
I remember that. You had those such bald tires, dude.
I
That
know.
was crazy.
I think that snow and cold is too much related to death for me to like snow. Like
Yeah.
winter in general, it's just like there's dead trees. You don't see the animals running out, and the sky is all gray, and the ground's just white and gray over and over and over again. To the point that it's like it's dead.
Yeah.
people, and I think that there's even a reason why there's more people that live in warmer, sunnier areas than there are in the wintry areas for a reason, and even more animals because no one likes the snow. I mean, people like snow, but no one wants to live in the snow.
Yeah. So like, for me, snow. I really like snow when it comes to mountains. Like like the vision.
Yeah.
Like I love how snowy mountains look. It's just like one of the coolest things to look at.
Or like trees with snow on it too.
Yeah. And like also just being in snowy mountains. Like I like to ski, so it's I really just like snow for skiing. It's probably my favorite thing, and also sledding. Sledding's fun, and you know, snow has its good stuff. But when it's like taken out of the mountains and it's like down here in the valley, and there's just like all this smog with it, and it's just cold and all over the place, and makes it impossible to drive. It just sucks.
Can we like sign a petition to like keep snow in the mountains or something?
Yeah, can we just snow only in the mountains, please?
Like build a wall around the mountains.
Yeah. Keep
Can't
those
pass this
filthy
line.
snowflakes out of here, dude.
Yeah, yeah. They're still in a jar. Oh wait.
That's tough. Let's not go to that one.
Just build a wall in the sky.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll show 'em.
Damn illegal snowflakes.
illegal snowflakes.
Who do they think they are coming down here? Just landing wherever they want to. Staying there.
They think they own the place, dude. That's right.
For real. I've been here longer than they have.
The reason that we brought snow up is because this is like one of the worst winters we've ever seen here. Like it's just been crazy non-stop snow up here, and it's just made like driving the worst. Like me and Ryan were outside yesterday for like hours trying to get back to our dorm because of the snow and trying to dig out a spot for us to park his car. Oh, it was just awful. And I actually crashed into a snowbank today, but there's no damage, so that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, I came back from California today, and when we hit Utah, like, oh man, we were like sliding all over the place. Luckily, the car that we were in is like really good with snow, but even still, we were just like
Oh, dude.
fish.
Remember when I was trying to? It was the very first time I'm driving in snow, and I tried to turn right on the 2200 West into where Daniel Street is, and I just didn't even turn. I just kept going forward. I was like, oh.
I remember.
I
Oh, that
remember when
scared me so
Daniel-
bad.
Danny, I remember when you were trying to go to Cafe Rio with us, and you had like super bald tires, and so you just didn't end up
Yeah, I
going
remember
because you
that.
couldn't move.
No, like I went to the church and like drifted, trying to like get back onto the main road.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
hate just the feeling of no control when you're driving in snow. Just like,
Yeah, and you like all of your instinct, you have to throw them down the toilet because if you start hitting the brakes, you're screwed. Like, because like people's first instinct when you're like screwing up, you're like, oh shoot, hit the brakes. But you do that and you're completely effed. So it's like, see,
I remember I had to like I almost hit this person as I was driving because of the snow and I was sliding. So like I hit my brake and there was a feedback to where it kept pushing my foot back up because my brake couldn't like it wouldn't like work properly. So I had to pull my e-brake. So I was pushing down, pulling my e-brake and hitting the gas all at once to just like get it to like stop at the same time. And I almost hit the person, but it barely stopped.
Dang. Man.
Yeah, I'm so glad that there wasn't a red light. It's like, I did not slow down. I just went right through. Holy cow. I was so scared. I'm so glad I didn't drive very much after that, though. Because I was definitely like, no, I can drive. Like, shut up, guys. I know I'd missed that turn. But I can drive, you guys. Don't worry.
so in conclusion, snow is beautiful, but it's cancer.
Yeah, it's,
Amen. Amen.
Oh, I didn't realize we were praying, boys.
hey, amen. Well, that wraps up our prayer today, fellers.
All right.
Prayers OP. as I would
I
say.
think,
Daniel.
Very-
I think that- I think we can pretty much call it now.
In our Lord and Savior,
Not much more to
Jeffrey.
talk about.
Yeah,
And then Jeff.
my name's Jeff. Thanks everyone for getting together and having this discussion. It's been nice talking to you guys. And thanks for
Oh.
Ryan for being the guest today.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
I'm
Thanks.
throwing up a
Jay.
peace sign, but you guys can't see it.
Nice peace sign. No, I see it.
I see it. Don't worry. We
Yeah,
all
I
see it.
feel it in my
We're
heart,
picturing it.
dog. Yeah.
We're lucidly dreaming it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, anyways, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week. Hopefully on Monday.
Dudes.